The driver's seat is presented by Ray Reese Volkswagen and Portland's Hyundai, Portland's #1 VW dealer, and Portland's newest Hyundai dealer. Now let's climb into the driver's seat on Miles Around Television.
In our driver's seat, it's the 2008 Mazda Miata MX5. Now, the MX5 has been around for 19 years. It's not hard to see this as part of America's iconic car history. But Mazda has a rich history too. Known for developing the Wankel rotary engine, this company also is going to be one of the first car companies to come out with a new hydrogen vehicle. This car is in its third generation. The Mazda Miata is something every American knows and lots of Americans love.
Now, whether you call it an MX5 or a Miata, it doesn't matter. This is a sports car. Open air motoring, front engine, rear drive, low weight. Those are the equations that make one thing: fun on the open road. Now, this doesn't have a huge horsepower V8 or some sort of weird wing on the back for aerodynamics. It comes down to simplicity. The Mazda Miata has gone through several incarnations and many updates throughout the years. Now, with a larger, more luxurious interior coupled with more horsepower, make it even better for 2008. We're going to take a look inside, but now we're going to start under the hood.
Lifting the hood of the 2008 Mazda Miata, or the MX5, you'll find underneath a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, and it wasn't always that way. When it first started out in 1989, they put a 1.6 in it. The second generation it went to a 1.8, and finally in the third generation we arrived at the 2-liter.
166 horsepower and 140 foot-pounds of torque might not seem like big numbers when you're talking about sports cars, but this car, with its perfect 50-50 weight distribution, beautifully ample and yet very well set suspension, makes the car feel the right way on the road. We just got back from Run to the Sun, a vehicle test session where we tested over $2 million worth of sports cars: Audi R8, Corvette Z06, Dodge Viper, even the Mustang Shelby GT 500. And what did we find? I found that driving a $25,000 Miata was just as fun, if not more so, on the open road. You have to look at it this way. This car doesn't have blazing top speed. It doesn't have tire-smoking V8 power. What it has is perfect balance. In a sports car, that's exactly what you're looking for. Now, the original Miata in 1989 looked more like, well, a Tylenol with giant wheels stuck to it. Not a lot of character, not a lot of flowing edges and lines to make it have a lot of, I guess, what you might call a personality. Now, in 2008, a lot has changed. The Fender Flares, for instance, come directly from the Mazda RX-8, their Highline sports car, and you see it throughout the lines on the car. There's more of a personality throughout it, a lot more character, and a lot more flair.
I'll tell you a few things about this car that you don't notice when you just see it sitting in a showroom or on the street. A lot of this car was designed in a wind tunnel and on a drawing board from engineers, not only from designers. For instance, some parts of it are actually aluminum, which helps the car handle better, and that sort of generates how things are molded on the vehicle. The other thing is the windows played a big part in air noise. So not only is the car stylish, but it also is styled in the way it is so it runs well and quietly on the road.
Well, one thing is for sure when you're talking about the new Miata MX5 is the interior is much larger and has a lot more luxurious feel to it. Nice leather bucket seats, and if I dare say it, legroom in a small car like this. A big new for me, considering I'm 6'2". But it's not just the passenger seat. It starts on the other side of the cabin, and that's where Nick's at.
Taking a look at how the interior of this vehicle is laid out, it is fairly simple. Now remember, there's a small space, so you haven't got a lot of complex stuff on the interior of the car. First of all, there's a few items that you cannot miss. There are the buttons that you press to turn on and off the air vents. That's kind of a nice little feature. They've moved the window controls to the center of the car, and everything as far as your HVAC controls and your entertainment system is in a very small compact space right here. They've also got a couple of other electronic things like your mirror adjustments and also your door locks. Now there's not a lot to talk about. They have advanced this car a little bit by putting some controls on the steering wheel, but everything's at hand. It's easy to see and easy to operate. We spent some time with the 2008 Mazda Miata or the MX5, Dennis. 2 ups and 1 down?
That's easy, Nick. The first one is the fun to drive factor. Cars out there that cost twice as much don't deliver on just that feeling of being out on the open road in a true sports car. The fun to drive factor is off the charts. My other up is going to be this, the price of admission. When you're talking about a car that starts under 25 grand for this kind of fun, you can't really beat that. My down is just going to be this. It's the inherent side of the car. It's very small. If you want to go on a road trip for just one night, you can get your duffel bag in the back. If you want to travel cross country, you might want to look at that station wagon.
Let me tell you about my 2 ups and 1 down for this vehicle. My first up for this vehicle is Mazda have done a great job in keeping this vehicle the simple vehicle they came up with 19 years ago. They haven't done any major add-ons to this vehicle. They haven't done any major changes which have completely ruined the vehicle. And I think they've kept the winner that they had 19 years ago, and it's a winner today. My second up for this vehicle is adding the hardtop retractable roof. It was an obvious thing to do. It was a wise thing to do, and it just makes the Mazda Miata or the MX5 just more sellable. My down for this car, and you may be fairly amazed at this, there isn't really one. If you are buying this car and finding there's something wrong with it, you shouldn't have brought it out the showroom in the first place. Let me tell you, if you need to get a lot more luggage in there, if you need to get more passengers, you need more speed or more power, this is not the car for you. Mazda made it for a very specific audience, and that audience is buying the car, and that's how it should be.
And that's the review of the 2008 Mazda Miata MX5. The 2008 Mazda Miata MX5 Grand Touring comes standard with a 2-liter dual overhead cam, 16-valve 4-cylinder engine, and a 6-speed manual transmission. It has a starting MSRP of $26,760 with an as-tested price of $29,535. 2008 city miles per gallon rating is 21. 2008 highway miles per gallon rating is 28.
The driver's seat is brought to you by Ray Reese Volkswagen, family owned and specializing in Volkswagens for over 15 years, and proudly presenting the all-new Portland Hyundai. Check them out at rayreese.com.